I was watching Samuel's blog from a few days ago about gratitude as the unfaithful, and it was so powerful, and it was just full of hope for persevering through this grueling process of recovery. And I saw some parallels to my own journey and thought it would be helpful to share my perspective on gratitude as the betrayed spouse. So Samuel mentioned thinking about suicide one day at the beach, and that was so crazy for me because I had a very similar experience where we were at the beach on a family vacation. I was up early and the boys were still sleeping. My husband was still in bed, and I was out on the balcony of our condo reading a book and thinking, I'm just going to grab my flip-flops and go for a walk on the beach. But in an instant, I thought, I don't think that's a safe place for me. I already felt like I was drowning. I already felt like I can't do this another day. Like I am so tired of pretending. I'm so tired of just the struggle. And I really believed in that moment, if I had gone to the beach alone, that I might not have come back. It was later that same year that I was at a women's conference, and courage was planted in my heart to face this thing, to stop pretending, to really deal with the issue in my home for my own sanity's sake, for the sake of my marriage, my family, and our two boys. Like it was time to step up and do the work. And as much as I wanted my husband to be free from addiction for me and for our marriage, I desperately wanted him to be free as a father. So we started doing the EMS online program, and for complete disclosure, life got even harder. We fought more than we have ever fought in our entire marriage, and I was a mess. I was a basket case. All the junk that I had been stuffing in for like 6 years just came spewing out of me. And I've talked about my anger before. I was so angry. I was so mad at my husband, and he was mad at me. And things went from bad to worse during the early stages of our recovery. There were really days when I thought, I don't know that we're going to make it. I don't know that we can survive this. I felt like my world was crumbling around me. And honestly, I thought I would rather go back to pretending, which that was a big gulp because, pretending I knew had messed me up so much. And yet actually doing the work made me think pretending was preferable and that at least my life had some semblance of order when I was pretending. But in that moment when I think, I just want to give up and I don't want to do this anymore, I saw my husband committed to his own personal freedom. And he was working the process. And I'm like, okay, I've got to go all in. I have to keep moving forward. Recovery really was and is the hardest, scariest thing I have ever done in my life. But I look back and I am so grateful for the work that we both did. But it's fascinating to me, and I guess it shows how far we've come in that I do not live with a regular or even a frequent awareness of that gratitude and of the fact that we'd walked through. I don't think of myself as a survivor. Even when we get irritated with each other and we're arguing about something, I don't go back to the recovery days. That's not my default. We are enjoying the life that we have today. We love to sit on the back patio, have a glass of wine, just enjoy the stars and the breeze in the evening. And we not only love each other, we like each other. We like being together. Just last night, we were sitting on the sofa watching The Voice, and I laid my head on my husband's shoulders and just thought, it feels so good to be close to him. Like, that's the reality of our life today. Now, that is not to say that I have no memories of the pain or that I no longer have any triggers, because I do. But most of the time, we are just enjoying this life that is so far beyond the gravity of how things could have turned out for our family. Our oldest son graduated from high school last year. And as a parent, like, that is such a huge celebration. It's a milestone for them. It's a milestone for you. And it was really fun to be a part of that. But it was in a huge stadium. We're so far away from the students. Like, we see 600 little square hats, and we think we know which hat is his, but we're not really positive. That's actually him. And so we started texting back and forth, and I took a picture down the row of all of our family that had come in from out of town, and he sent a picture of him and the buddies that he was sitting with, and then I took a picture of David and I, and we both have like these big thumbs up and these cheesy smiles, and I love that picture. But in that moment, I was not thinking, how great is it that we are here beside each other and that our marriage survived and we can celebrate our son's graduation together. No, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we never talked about how we're going to find him after the ceremony, and someone has to pick up the barbecue. We still need to put chairs outside, and I hope I ordered enough cupcakes. When the gratitude hit me, and when it most often hits me, is when I see other families struggling, or when I hear about another marriage that has ended. My son has several friends whose parents have been through divorce, and one in particular, I don't know their whole story, but we were coordinating with all the other graduation parties and wanting to make sure he could celebrate with this friend. When we found out he's not having a party because mom and dad can't agree to be in the same house. And I'm like, come on, people, like, it's not about you, it's about your son. You should be there for him. And I want to make sure you know I'm not saying that staying in the marriage is the only way to have a joyful or peaceful future. I know that's not true. But I think what I see in this example is the reality for people who don't do the work. It looks like they've moved on. There are new relationships. There are new homes. But they are still stuck in the pain of what happened in their marriage years ago. I get to have this crazy, silly, cheesy picture of my husband and I. And we got to text it to our son on his graduation day because we didn't give up. Because we both found the courage to work the process, to forgive each other, and to risk our hearts again. And we are both so incredibly grateful that we didn't quit. There's a verse in the Bible that really spoke to me in my recovery journey, and it said, let your heart take courage. Like, courage is out there, and you just have to reach out and grab a hold of it. And that is my thought for you today. Take courage. Step into the uncertainty of this journey. Keep moving forward through the doubt. Keep doing your part for your own personal healing, even when you don't know yet the end of the story. That is the path to gratitude.